How's everybody's day going? This is BR, and we're going to talk about what if all the Straw Hats that doesn't have a Dell Flute gets a Dell Flute, and we're going to go into detail how they get it, when, and stuff like that. Okay, first off would be Nami. Luffy would Nami would find her Dell Flute during the Skypiea arc. It would go, how it would go would be, when Luffy punched Adalu for the final attack into the bell, he wouldn't have landed on his ship, but he would have landed, let's not say in the Blue Sea, because if it was on the Blue Sea, then Adalu would sink and it'd be nearly impossible to find him. Let's just say for easy sake, it would land right there, somewhere in Jaya. Probably Cricket's house. And it would go like, whenever they got back to Cricket's house, Sanji's role in the crew now, he would have another role, and that would be the Dell Flute Specialist, because he stated during Whole Cake Island arc in his flashback, and it was also shown that he read a Dell Flute encyclopedia. So there's a bunch of Dell Flutes that he knows about. So he would have looked in there, and they would have said, and they would have noticed that it wasn't in there. Probably wouldn't be in there. I don't know. Let's just say probably not, because it was in the sky. Adalu. Now keep in mind that Adalu is really, really strong. So once Nami gets that flute, Oda stated that if she got that flute, she'd be a true weather lady, and no one could stop her except for Luffy. So she'd be like the second strongest on the crew. Now we go on to Annie's lobby. Well, she saves Sanji. So since Khalifa is a soap lady, Nami would just be able to, like, one-shot Khalifa without any problem, so that fight would have ended as soon as it started. Okay, and then next would be Usopp's Dell Flute. Now, okay, the one that Usopp could logically get, but let's just say that I have to go headcanon. I went with Dell Flute that does not exist. So the one that I came up with that would be the most interesting would be the Lyle Flute. Now, Usopp's lies do come true, but it takes a while. But in this case, they would come true the first opportunity they get. So, for example, whenever Usopp said, I have an army of 10,000 soldiers. 10,000 soldiers. walk up right behind Usopp. Yeah. Yeah, that would be how Usopp's flute would go. Now, okay, he would get there in the time skip. I would say it would be on the Boyne Archipelago because I wouldn't put it out in the open because anybody would probably want that food if they knew what it was. So I'll just put it there, and then Usopp would notice it. Well, he probably wouldn't even know it was a Dale food, to be honest, would you? Because they do have some a bunch of different types of plants and stuff. Let's just say the Delphoot will look like a plant. And then Usopp would probably eat one. He would eat it. And then, let's just say he tells a lie. Well, he bound to tell a lie. He notices after like a little bit on the island, like for the lies he tells, that it became true pretty quickly. And yeah, that would be a really, really broken one. Like whenever we go to what's it called? Okay, actually, how about this? Whenever they go to Fishman Island, Usopp would have been like, "Now all of y'all face the wrath of my conquerors hockey. All you enemies, all you fishy enemies." And then they all fall, get knocked out by Usopp's conquerors hockey. And that would shock everybody. Usopp! Usopp wouldn't even tell him what it was. Because he wouldn't bring up to the crew. He just want them to be impressed with him. Then we go to next one I'm thinking about would be okay, let's say Punk Hazard. Whenever they would like doing that whole gas thing, it'd be like when they were trying to escape, he would say, "Hey, there's the exit right there." And they're about, "Well," "Where did that come from?" And then they get out of the, oh wait, yeah. He'd actually have to say something like, all the gas disappeared. And then all the gas disappears. And at that point, Robin might figure out that it's a Delphoot power. But a lot of the others like Luffy and Chopper would be like, wow. And then actually they could, a lot of the others like Law and Robin could figure out, or it could be like, where did it must be a set range or something. And then Sanji would be like, no, it's actually not a set range. That's pretty weird. And then that would be, a few of them figured out that Usopp ate a Delphoot. Okay, now let's go on to Dressrosa. Whenever Usopp is aiming at Sugar to save Luffy, he would, as soon as he shot it, he wouldn't even hesitate at this moment. Now let's keep in mind, Usopp probably wouldn't have observation hockey at all. He does have Conquer at this point. Okay. So whenever he shot it, he would this target hits Sugar. And it scales so it knocks her out. And it does. But then it gets a little bit complicated with the bold cage. He would wait for the bold cage to disappear. But it wouldn't disappear, but let's just say Fuji Torres have like got an idea and is like, maybe it would be better if I like lifted up the bold cage with my gravity. Let's say he touches the gravity. Let's just say he channels his Delphoid power into his sword, and then he lifts it up with his sword, the gravity, and then the bold cage just like keeps going up and up and up and up into the air. But Fujitori's sword breaks in the process. Okay, the next Delphoid will go to Franky whenever he faces off against Baby 5 and Buffalo. He would have realized that both of them had a Delphoid. He'd be like, oh, one to fly, and another one that can summon weapons. That's super awesome. Looks like that's super awesome. Okay, he would end up, the Straw Hats might actually end up killing people sometimes, and this will be one of the cases. He would kill both Buffalo and Baby 5, which would be sad for Baby 5 because she would have never met Sai. Yeah. But it would be kind of interesting to figure out which one he would choose. Let's say he would have had like he would have asked Sanji or Usopp. He would have asked anyone on the crew, everybody on the crew, which one would be better for him. And someone would have, let's just say Sanji would have mentioned, let me see, you said, one of them helps you fly, and another one, is able to turn yourself into weapons. For you, I would say, give you weapons. And since Jinbe said he joined the crew, and he's a fisherman, I think it'll be better off for, Jinbe being able to fly. Which that would be kind of funny, since Jinbe flying through the air. Think a blue whale, seeing a blue shark fisherman flying through the air. That would be kind of hilarious. Okay, who's next? The next one would... Okay, the next Delphoid would be Sanji's. Sanji would end up with Senior Pink's Delphoid, the swimsuit. And how he would get it would be after Franky defeats Senior Pink. Okay, he would have asked, Franky would have asked Senior Pink to tell him about watching right now. Instead of saying, maybe we could meet at a bar sometime, and then you can tell me. And then, but this time, he would do it right now. Franky would be crying about, that's such a super sad story. And then, he would give the flute to Sanji. He would have been like it though. Because, it's kind of like, he figured that, Sanji would want that flute. I don't want to go into detail of how, but hopefully you get the idea. And let me think of, and that might be it. I kind of realized that I forgot to mention Zoro. Anyway, he'd end up with Kaido's flute after Luffy defeats Kaido. Well, he wouldn't get the flute, but one of his swords would get the flute. And that would be kind of interesting, wouldn't it? Actually, I got something else to say about Sanji. Okay, whenever he'd use it, let's just say he'd use it during Onigashima when he's running away from Queen. Let's just say instead of running away, he'd swim to the floor under that. Then would he even encounter Queen? The answer would be yes. Because Sanji would calm down after a little bit. And then run back up and fight Queen then. But he wouldn't have had that call to the Zoro while Zoro's in the middle of fighting King. Yeah, Zoro just answered the phone with one arm fighting somehow. He uses 3 swords. How is he able to do that? What does he do? Put 2 swords in one hand and then one in his mouth and fights that way? Well, that really doesn't matter that much right there. Well, anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, and you're a new viewer, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.